Thank you very much for coming on this short notice for this little presentation. It's it's a new device. It's from Leomo. It's in Japan, and it's about it's obsession with motion. So it's I believe it's the next step after having a power meter. So we all know about power meters, where it displays how much power you're putting through the crank. And what this is, I have it's almost like a bike fitting system, and it can be used as one too. And it's not with the tablet. The Type R is just the head unit with the 5 sensors, and they're really easy to put on. There is stickers that you get with the device you have on your leg, but I've never used the stickers. I just put on there, fits really well. I have another sensor also on my pelvis, and these are MPIs, they're motion sensors. There's also 2 on my foot, and they fit every single cycling shoe except for mine. So I do have a strap here, but they just go into the Velcro strap or the mower system. As cyclists, we know we can produce a lot of power, and it's one thing to have, you see that cranks measure the watts in the center, and then you have power meters that measure the power, the pedal power meters, they measure the power on different legs. And what this does is, it's like a bike fit, where it actually measures your dead spot score. So it actually sees if you're efficient or not in your pedal stroke. It also measures your foot angle range, so the amount of movement in your foot. So it measures which we call the FAR, which is your foot angular range. There's another measurement called the Q1 FAR, which is from your 12 o'clock position to your 3 o'clock, which is the most important position. Range in your pedal stroke, because that's where you apply the most power. There's the sensors on your legs for your LAR, which is your leg angle range, and this measures the angle difference between each leg. And while we think that we might have 50-50 because we have our cleats in the right place and we think we sit in the right place in the saddle, the leg angle range is not always the same. It's not. And what this shows is, because you might have one leg putting a lot higher range than the other leg. And there's also a sensor on my pelvis, as I said before, and this is a very clever one. It measures my pelvic angle, so you can actually really see every angle on your body and you can measure it. Another interesting one is pelvic rotation, and that's when you move your hips side to side. So this is a good one, because if your saddle's too high, then you have a lot of rotation hip because you're trying to reach the bottom of the pedals, for example. That's a very good indicator if your saddle's too high. And then you have your pelvic rock, which we all know. If you get tired and you're climbing a mountain, this is not good because you have not good core strength there. When you get a bike fit, you only do it indoor. And what this does is, you can actually record someone going up a climb and seeing the actual motion, if they're actually doing it right. And later, you can actually go through the file and see exactly the pedal stroke with all the angles and everything, with this tiny little system. Now, what I found out when I first got this, I'm not the best pedaler, and my dead spots are at the bottom of the stroke, and that's where I have the biggest problem, and this system shows me that. So the foot angles are not the same because I'm not so perfect, and also if you look at my LAR, for example, on the bottom left, there's a big difference. I actually have a 57-degree change on one side and the other 50, and I know for myself when I pedal that my right foot is not as flexible as my left foot. When I pedal with my right foot, I actually do a negative angle drop, which I would never ever know without the system. And my left foot is very good. And because and if you think about it, all the angles add up. So if my foot is dropping more on my right, you see it in the leg directly. And this is really good for when you're training and and obviously you want to be as symmetrical as possible on both your legs to get the most out of your training and also out of your effort. And this system here shows the difference between each leg. And the amazing thing is with this, that when you do like a bike fit, for example, it's in a lab, you're in one position, you hold 300 watts and you just test that position and you find that position's very good. Whereas in a race, you sit more forwards, and when you push a big gear, your foot changes everything. And this really shows at every moment where you have your problems. and it's more for the rider. It's really nice to see it and be aware of it, because when a gear is too hard and you struggle, you push with your heel, if you know what I mean. And when you're more stronger, you don't have that negative heel drop. And for me, I've learned this from this system, that okay, I have to be more conscious, and when I do my strength training, for example, to be flat-footed or more toe-pointed around. When you do a normal position, when you're sitting like single file in a race, it's a totally different position when you're climbing on a mountain. Every change this system really sees, and it will show you when you do, for example, on a mountain climb, a strength session, if it's too hard for you or you don't have good core stability, you get a pelvic rotation, and it's really good when you do your interval training, for example, and to compare how good your core stability is and how good your pedaling efficiency is. And what I've noticed is when I recorded Tim Wellens, Rowan Dennis, these guys' dead spot scores were extremely low compared to mine. And when I tested the whole team, we did about 4 riders at the training camp, and you could really put just from the dead spot score who was the best rider and who was the worst rider, and it really showed that. And this is, for me, it's really special. So this is this new training method that I'm going to be working with, and also with I'll be racing with tomorrow with Ridley on tomorrow's stage, so I get some race data also, and it's something it's something I want to show, and I hope you guys have a look at it more, because it's actually really, really interesting, and I think it's the next step to move yourself to improve your own training. So that's my short little display.